So the Mortheim terrain is almost done printing. Another printer died. Probably gonna do a review series on 3D printers. My current thoughts on 3D printers is for the resin stuff and miniatures. It's too efficient, too inexpensive. It just makes too much sense. Resin printers and miniatures, it's the future. Uh, the PLA printers and terrain, I'm not so sure anymore because as a channel or a single person or even a store trying to get a bunch of terrain. So I had 7 printers, the Anycubic X's. One right out of the box was a problem, could never use it. Had to warranty issues. They screwed up their warranty, whatever, and then we just returned it. So we have 6. And actually, Drewski, pay attention to this because I want to know if you got any feedback on this. You are a chat man. So I have 6 printers going, and then of the 6 I've had running, I have replaced the hot end on each of the printers at least 3 times. Like bare minimum 3 times per printer, bare minimum. One right from day one had issues with it would just randomly it had heat, had a thermostat or whatever, a thermal issue where it would just stop printing. But what I do is I leave it off for a day and I can use it for about 12 hours so I can print small things. And I have another one experiencing similar things, except for now it just randomly turns itself off. I can't get through, it'll print for like an hour tops and then it just goes to the main screen and then it turns itself off. But okay, issues with that. 3 of the 7 I had were problematic. That technology can improve, obviously. But I'm thinking about the time I've spent waiting for Mortheim terrain printing with 6 printers running non-stop. It's still going to be this coming weekend. The terrain will be printed, almost certainly. And obviously, barring weird, I don't know, power outage or whatever. Like the trainer will printed, but the timeline on that seems really slow if I think about it. So it took me weeks, several weeks of printing on 6 machines. So I'm going to assume the average store or single person is not going to buy 6 machines. They're like $400 a piece. So 6 machines, several weeks to get 1 table worth of terrain. Now, the PLA cost isn't that expensive, but it's not that cheap either. That's the actual material. So I'm thinking the cost and time connected, it was almost certainly better off to go buy the terrain instead of printing it myself. Drewski, I know you ran, how many printers did you run at the height of your little printer factory when you were doing the bunker? And is your thoughts that it probably would have been more efficient, possibly cheaper, to just buy everything instead of printing everything? 12 printers. You had 12 printers going. What happened to the old Trusted Serial Box? That's true, chat man. See, you just aged yourself right there. But yeah, the old Trusted Serial Box is a good thing. I can't get away with that. Trying to do a Mortheim campaign with Serial Box all over the table. Maybe I should have tried. That would be fun. But like, there's a put me in Discord. All right, say something, Drewski, so I can just balance you for the audience.
Something, balance high, people.
Yeah, you sound good.
Hello,
I sound like crap. I'm sick. How's it going?
Hey, I'm well better than you.
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to mention. So those hot ends that you replaced, what hot ends did you replace them with?
Okay, so bad sign for this printer, but when you buy this particular printer, it came with a spare one. Bad sign.
Yeah, okay. So that's exactly what you said. It's a red flag. You're buying cheap Chinese printers. That's like $400. Like I have 4 Prusas.
These are Anycubic.
Doesn't matter. They're all Chinese. Even the Crealities that we were using for the bunker, those are all Chinese too. But
Well, what? Wait, hold on. Are you saying just for the fact that being Chinese is inferior?
yes, you take a product like any Cubic or Creality or whatever, and you compare it to like say a Prusa, which is more of a flagship printer. There's a significant cost difference, but like in my experience, whenever we're using all those Chinese printers, sure, they're cheap and sure they'll work, but when they stop working, that's when you need to start replacing parts. The fans, the hot ends, the tubing, you name it. I've even had to replace the motherboard on some of them.
Well, that's where I'm
Um,
at. Okay, let me explain this to you actually. So the first one that went bad, the box, I'm like, oh, I can't print with this thing because if you look at this, let me switch scenes so I can use my hands better. Okay, so the printer has a little cage where it has a bar that comes down and moves the actual printing part, right? So
yeah,
there's two big screws that motorize the arm. Well, the arm was on like this. It was
yeah,
crooked. They didn't line up properly. So obviously that's not going to print. It's not possible. So I'm like, okay, I can take this whole thing apart and put it back together. It's not going to be an easy thing. I've never done it before. It'll probably take me a day, and I could end up messing it up. Or I'm going to contact warranty. They're like, send me a picture. Send them a picture. Like, oh, okay, your frame is warped. Now there was the language. Clearly, the person talking to me was English wasn't their first language. So it was like you can tell by the way they're talking, right? So the frame
yep,
is warped. I'm like, okay, um, that doesn't sound right, but I think with the pictures they get it, so I'll just wait for the part. And then when they sent in the part, they actually sent me the frame, like the little thin piece of metal that goes over top of it, like a frame. Has nothing to do with the mechanics. Like this actually does not solve the problem. The person knowing who saw the picture knows it's not gonna solve the problem. This was a waste of my time, so I just returned the printer,
right,
and that was the seventh one of the sixth of the six.
yeah.
I'm sorry, that was the seventh.
That's actually another reason why Chinese printers are super cheap is because of language barriers, and the support. They try. I give it to them. They try, but it's not always there. Like I have a bunch of Prusas. I've never had to change anything on a single one, and I've had them for years. I broke a thermistor once, and they sent me a new one in 2 days, and they're from like the Czech Republic.
Do you know how to replace one?
Yeah.
Um, I got to get you into the studio then, because
Okay.
I'm the one who picked what printers we bought, and I did a full day of like research, reviews, and all this kind of stuff. And these printers that I bought had the best reviews. And now I feel semi-responsible that Mini Wargaming spent a bunch of money on printers, like so for a 2,500 bucks on printers.
Yeah, but I
And they're
mean,
causing me nothing but problems.
yeah, but you got to fine tune everything, and also, again, you're using cheap Chinese parts. Like there could be wiring issues, soldering issues in the motherboard. Like
Yeah,
that's that's the problem is the quality isn't there, and the price reflects that.
so
So if you have these problems, you have to diagnose it and work on it yourself. And for your hot end, for example, when that thing goes, when you go to replace the hot end, you have to get a higher quality hot end, and that's going to last. And
yeah,
that's
but
what I did with
trying to
every
find
single one I did.
yeah, trying to find the correct hot. Like, I can just find more of the same hot ends, right? So
Yeah.
this is
So
for
look for
Eric.
like E3D, for example. And you might have to customize and modify like your entire printer to make it work, but it'll work.
Okay, so actually, let's. What brand was it again? A friend of mine got a really great 3D printer years ago. It was like $5,000. Now, like the resin stuff. Here's Eric. Here's what I'm using. I have 6 of these. Um, I just linked it in chat. Yeah, the resin stuff. The resin printers. I have Anycubic resin printers. I have 2 of them. 2 different ones. They've been fantastic, and replacing like the FEP film and all that kind of stuff, super easy. I love my resin printers of Anycubic. In fact, there was a point where I poured down an entire bottle of resin into the fan in that printer. I'm like, I just messed up my printer. I took it all apart, I cleaned it all up, and it still runs perfectly. So I had no issues with the resin printers. It's only what appears to be the thermistor. Is that what it's called? The thermistor?
Yeah.
So what happens is I can see it before the printers fail, or whatever. The temperature goes all over the place on like the heating pad or something. The thing that's reading the temperature.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all stock stuff, right?
Say that again.
It's a stock thermistor and all that stuff. You haven't changed any parts out.
No, yeah, it's all stock.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So those wires are so thin, they're very fragile.
Yep.
So that's probably the issue that you're experiencing. Or you just burn it out, but you probably didn't, just using PLA because it's not as hot as other materials. But yeah,
So
super
yeah,
fragile.
when you're feeling
Really
better,
easy. Hmm?
when you're feeling better, I'm gonna get you in. I'm not
Yep.
gonna bot. I'll message warranty one more time, and then I'll kind of abandon them after that. And after that, I'll let you take a look and see if you can help me replace the thermistor on the two printers that are like one won't print anymore, and one just needs a lot of rest, a lot of breaks.
Yeah. So there's two wires that go into the heat block. One is the thermistor, and the other is a heating element. So
Okay.
one's basically
So
like a temperature gauge, and one produces heat.
on the first one, the one that remember I named them all, right?
Yeah.
Don't say any of that.
I don't remember the names. It's fine.
You remember the one, right? So I actually took that one apart because the thermistor problem. Like, okay, I can't get to the thermistor; it's gonna be taking apart everything. But like, I just pressed all the wires in better. I just pushed them all in, and some of them did move a little bit. And ever since I did that, it's been able to print. But every now and then, like I can print for a day and I have to leave it off for a day, and then print for a day and leave it off for a day, and it's fine. The other one just
That's
turns
just
itself
weird.
off. It's really messed up.
Yeah, they both sound bad. But yeah, it's easy to replace the wires. They're just, like I said, they're just fragile. But
Okay, well, that makes you feel
a-
better.
as far as feeling bad about, mini wargaming having to foot the bill for replacement parts and stuff like that, like these are all technically considered consumables. They're not meant
Yeah,
to last
but
forever.
that goes back to my original point. So the replacement parts and time I'm spending fixing things, it doesn't seem like these things are actually cost effective for building terrain. That being said, the timeline it takes to print these pieces of terrain, it just seemed to be way too high. So what I mean is, I don't basic knowledge of thermodynamics. You have to melt this plastic; it has to cool. So no matter what, the printing speed, while the technology might get better and faster, the printing speed will be based off of the rate you can melt the plastic and cool the plastic and put the next layer on. So it doesn't stick as the nozzle moves away, right? So it'll never,
Yeah,
this current way of printing stuff with the PLA printers, with these type of printers, will, in my opinion, probably never be a viable solution for a gaming store, YouTube channel. It's going to take way too long to print something, to print a table
that's
of terrain.
that's exactly why I had 12 printers at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the technology is improving. There are other printers that are significantly faster, like almost
What?
10 times faster than what you're
Yeah,
experiencing.
different technology, not this type. Because
No, well, it's
even
the
if these
same
printers,
concept.
okay, so I'm using $4 printers, right? Even if these printers went down to $25, that's how cheap they got. It's still not viable for a store because now you need an entire like 15 by 15-foot room with the
Yep,
electricity to run these 15 printers. So this
exactly.
technology is not going to disrupt terrain. Like it's actually better than PLA. It's better to buy your terrain. That's where I stand right now.
It's okay, well, there's a fine point there. So I both agree and disagree. I think 3D printing as a business, or, as many wargaming will do it as part of their business or whatever, they have to do things that are specific to them and
Yeah.
not just being a print farm that you could print whatever from thingiverse.com or whatever.
Well, we use
Because
printable
more and
scenery.
more
We make
people,
great stuff.
exactly, more and more people are getting 3D printers. They're so easy to use, small learning curve, the prices are coming down, and it's so easy for people to get them. So for you to run a 3D printing business, you have to have your own unique product that nobody could find anywhere else.
Well, I think that'll get harder and harder too. But like as far as the resin stuff goes, yeah, go ahead and start a business. You can print out a bunch of stuff in a day.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like
I
I
just don't
just
think
got
PLA
the
is.
Elegoo Jupiter, and that thing is a workhorse. It has not screwed up on me once, and it's flying printing parts.
Yeah, I love the resin stuff. What are the printers called? The ones that use the powder and lasers?
Oh, yeah, I don't
When I
remember.
think like there's probably even better technology, but when that becomes more accessible, affordable, then we'll start seeing terrain. Everybody will have every gaming store will have amazing terrain.
Yeah, that's for printing metal though.
Yeah, but
There's a big process because even after it's printed, you have to basically
yeah,
bake
but
it or
the rate in which you
slice
can
it.
print them will I don't know how to use the words correctly. The rate at which you can print those will be at a greatly faster speed. The ceiling for how do I put this? I'm bad at language. The PLA stuff has the melt the plastic, cure the plastic cap. Like,
Yeah,
it'll never get better than the rate at which that stuff. The material could change, but always be locked at that rate. The powder
yeah,
laser stuff can go real stupid fast. Like,
yep.
speed is
Same.
going to be a thing. Speed is going to be a thing. It is a factor because if
We've
I have to
already
wait
seen
a
it.
week to print a cup, I'm going to go buy the cup instead.
No, exactly. We've already seen it with resin printers. I have one of the original Elegoo Mars printers, like OG, not Pro, not Mars 2, like the first one. And its layer cure time was something like 8 seconds per layer. And
Oh wow!
now it's down to like 2 seconds with these new screens and everything that they're
If I had to print something
supplying
with
with new
8 second
printers.
cure
Like
time,
it's
I wouldn't
already
even
getting
bother.
better. Hmm?
If I had to print something with 8 second cure time, I wouldn't even bother.
Well, I mean, at the time, it
Oh,
was
I
like, "This
know.
is amazing." Now you look at it and you're like, "What a waste of time." I could literally print 4 times faster now than I could back then.
Um,
It's getting better.
the Mega X I have here, it defaults at 2 second cure time. I bump it up to 3 just because I'd rather everything take a little bit longer than to get like a weird failed print every now and then. I have had a failed print with the Mega X, which is different from the X we were talking about earlier. Everybody,
Yeah, of course. Ask Andrew if there will ever be pewter 3D printers. Probably not. They
it
will
doesn't
do
make
metal,
sense.
like stainless and stuff like that. There's so much more production value in the industry. But for pewter as a hobby, still probably not. You're better off just doing injection molding machines.
Yeah,
I think they'll come out with more affordable hobby size injection molding machines long before pewter 3D printing.
I don't think we'll ever see a hobby injection molding actually. Well, that's not true. Hold on. Ah,
It'll
no,
be
that's
a
definitely
while.
not true.
Well, I don't know.
No, there is a thing that we're looking at as well. The there yeah, technology is rapidly like as always getting better. There are a few products that are going to be coming out that I think are going to shake up the market within the
Yep.
next 5 years.
Yeah, I've been following some of that as well.
Yeah,
Like
we're getting
before an
involved.
injection molding machine, you would need like a factory type space where you can
Yeah.
put this giant ass machine in. It's like the world's first computer. It needed a whole freaking room, right?
Yep.
Now you can get an injection molding machine that'll, take up a corner of a room, but it's still like 100 and
So
150K.
I've always said you're not really going to see 3D printing impact the miniature wargaming market until, like, sorry, in a huge way, because it already is impacting
Yeah.
the market. In a huge way until you start seeing them in everybody's home. Like when you can walk up to your kitchen counter and hit your item box and type in uh, cup 8 ounces red. Go. We
Yeah,
will get
pretty
there
much.
almost certainly in
Yeah.
our lifetime. No, very
Yeah,
like
I believe that.
relatively soon. That's when it's going to really impact the market. I mean, okay, I don't even know if I should talk about this, but let's be fair. Game Workshop doesn't want to talk to me anyway. But I mean, they're using STLs for their stuff, and like their big Angron file got leaked.
Oh, see, I'm not up to date with GW stuff. Haven't been for years. But A, that's kind of interesting. B, it doesn't surprise me either.
Well, we've seen for a while that like in their books, you can see the telltale marks that something was 3D printed. So they're 3D printing them so their painters can paint them and get them in the books before the manufacturing happens.
Oh yeah,
Like,
3D printing is taking over the whole gaming industry.
but like I'm also very I'm of the mindset that Games Workshop is already prepared for what's next. I actually
Yeah,
think
they'd be dumb if they weren't prepared. Like it's a storm. It's taking over the whole industry. They have to be prepared if they want to stay afloat as a business.
yeah, well, I'm very confident they know what they're doing. They're prepared, and I've been knowing that things have a huge turnaround time from concept to this making to the consumer. They have to dump all the projects that they're working on. Now, here, crazy theory: have we ever, in I don't know, 35 years of Games Workshop, ever seen them put out product as fast as they have right now?
No.
Almost as if every product, every project they've had in the pipeline, they get
Yeah,
pushed
but
up.
like they're also growing as a business, right? So they have more
Yeah,
designers. They have people who are dedicated to just books. Other people who are
I was
just artists.
gonna conspiracy theory for a while, man.
Oh, the sun, the giant lizard men.
Oh yeah, that too.
Um,
The flat sun. No, I mean, I mean like maybe all the stuff's coming out so fast because they have to switch their business model.
yeah, maybe. Only
I
maybe.
got there's nothing to back that up. I'm just it's fun to talk about.
Okay, so what do you think about who's the company that makes them? Warma Hordes.
Private press.
That's it. What do you think about them selling their STLs,
How are
print the
they doing
models?
that?
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's their business model? How are they selling their STLs?
Well, they just sell the file and you print it to build an army. And it's, I mean, aside from it being 3D printed, it's the same model as what they're producing in injection molding
So if
machines.
that would make me uncomfortable because let's be honest, um, the, for every one file they sell, 10 of them are getting pirated.
Yep,
Is that a good
that's
thing or a bad
true.
thing?
That's true for literally everything in the digital world.
Well, in the
That
digital
that'll
world,
never end. Yeah,
so
that'll never stop.
games not selling digital files, like they are making. So as it stands, if you want to 3D print something from another game company, you got to wait for the pirate to make it and then send it out there. Someone's got to do the labor, right?
Yeah.
That's what slows it down. But this company is going to do the labor up front for
Yeah.
then to be pirated very easily.
Yep.
You know what? If they make money, it's the right call. That's it. It's that simple.
If you think about it, if they lose like half the business of their warehouse and they don't have to make as many models,
Yeah.
they're just selling files digitally. You do the work once and it's constantly making you money. It's considered passive income at that point. So then they don't need to hire, and it sucks for people, but they don't need to hire as many staff. They don't need as big a building
Yeah.
to produce all these models and everything like that. So it really takes a lot of the overhead out of the business, and they still make passive income. Now it's a gamble. Like I've never seen a gaming company do this before, but I mean, I hope it works out well for them.
Same. But the thing
But
is,
it's no different from like all these other private artists on CG Trader, Thingiverse and My Mini Factory. Like people are doing this for a living and they've got, hundreds of Patreon subscribers. And all they do is produce STLs every month. They sit at home in their comfy pajamas
that's a
and
little bit
doodle
different.
away.
That's a little bit different because in my experience, and anybody in chat, and Drewski, if you have a different experience with this, by all means point it out. But in my experience, when I talk to another 3D printer, and like, oh, that's a really cool file. we don't just give each other the files when we buy them from Thingiverse, not Thingiverse, from My Mini Factory. We say, hey, this artist sells you the file. You can go over there and spend $3 right now and get it yourself. Where we could just give it to the other guy and trade it. Now, there have been some Kickstarter stuff which we can no longer get. They're no longer available. If you can't purchase them, I've had people give me some stuff. But generally, like, we want to support the artist because, man, that's work. And if they don't, if somebody's not doing the work, there's nothing for us to print, right? So, yeah, I want the guys to keep making stuff, right?
No, of course. Like
Games
you
Workshop
want
or the
it.
independent guy.
It's no different than being a paid subscriber on YouTube or Patreon or whatever. It's you believe in the person, the project, and what they're doing, and you want to support them because you want them to continue. You know, most of us, especially like older generations, we have grown up money with childlike toys.
Yeah.
So spending $5 on a model that you could 3D print isn't gonna kill you. And more people are happy to do it than not. Some people have traded files. Sure, that's fine, but it doesn't happen all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, and besides, if you're so cheap to not buy a $5 file, you're probably too cheap to buy a printer and the resin and all the cleanup and maintenance associated with it.
Yeah, no, I while I 100% agree with you, the price of printers are dirt cheap.
Mhm.
Like, I got a buddy whose name I won't say, who has completely stopped buying all product because he found it was drastically cheaper to buy a printer and print everything. And he's able to, well, okay, to be fair, he's an artist, so he's able to design everything he needs. So that does offset it for him, but
Yeah, no, that's fair. I get that. I mean, I like designing like props and 3D printing those. I don't do it because I'm too cheap to buy something. I just enjoy the process.
see, it's still different for me. I never had toys growing up, so now I can afford the toys myself, right? But I want the ones I saw when I was a kid. That's why I love the Fantasy Mall so much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I have a lot of 3D printing experience. I've had a lot of 3D printers. If you come to my house and look around, there's not a single damn thing that I've printed for myself as far as like toys go. Like
Really?
I've printed like shelves or, vat tray holders for resin printers and, things like that. I've printed utility and like home improvement parts, but
Yeah, but
never something
home
fun and
improvement
cool
parts are
or
just grown up toys. Like, I got a bunch of printed like ammo crates and just like a bunch of stuff like that from my hunting supplies.
yeah.
Sorry, my foraging supplies, as we're supposed to say here in Canada.
Oh, that's fine, man. I
But
mean,
those are just toys. Let's be honest.
yeah, I'm about to print some shoulder pads for my 30K Blood Angels, and that'll be the first thing I've ever printed for myself, for any gaming system ever. And
Really?
I've been printing for like what,
What about all
4
those sweet
years?
demons, bro?
I haven't even done that yet.
Oh, bro, you gotta do it.
I know.
I'm broing you, bro.
You get 3 bros per sentence, no more.
Bro, paint the demons,
Definitely less.
bro. They're crazy overpowered, bro. You're just gonna have some fun, bro.
Okay, I gotta go now. Bye.
No.
But like I agree, like with the whole like going back to the terrain thing, like you could print some really cool custom things. It'll take time, but you know what? The time's gonna go by anyway. But if you're in a rush,
Fair point.
and you want things printed and you want it looking good, dude, go to the pet store and get aquarium stuff.
That's a fair point. I think I would not have had this mindset or this. I wanted to do, okay. I wanted to have this Mordheim campaign out before October, and I'm just waiting for terrain. But like, it's my fault for not checking on the terrain before it was too late. So like I just want this done. And while I have what I think is going to be a beautiful Mordheim table, as long as I don't screw up painting and make it look ugly. I wish it was done already.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the whole hobby in itself.
I think we all get
I
that
mean,
at
I
one
could
point or
sit
another.
here and watch you stream and just chill out like for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long you're on, but I still won't pick up a model and multitask. I just can't do it anymore. Why would I do it when my printers can do it for me?
That's what I'm afraid of, dude. I don't want. I will. Okay. So here's the problem. Here's the problem that I worry about. I have recently been sending my stuff out to other people to paint. I have 3 people working on stuff for me right now. 4 actually. So I've always been the guys like I paint my own stuff. I only use the stuff I paint. Now I got other people doing it. Now I'm thinking about these printers, and like I used to use Hero. When I was playing D&D a lot with Matt, I used the website Hero Forge like crazy for creating miniatures, and they can like print it for you in color. Now it doesn't look great. I'd rather paint it myself. But there's going to be a time in my lifetime when you're gonna be able to print your fully colored model. You don't have to paint anymore. Like this hobby will have fully printable models, and I will be playing. I'll be all geriatric and old. I will be playing against some kid in his 20s who bought his Space Marine army from Games Workshop through an STL because he bought the Games Workshop print a machine army, whatever. He prints he likes Space Marine Tactical Squad, blue, red shoulder pad, and they get printed for him. I have my weirdly painted, hand painted stuff, and I'm not the old weird fogey.
Yep. And it's going to be around the time where GWs start collecting boxes or whatever are going to include digital files and a 3D printer and whatever resins and stuff that they want you to use.
The perfect amount of resin. But I'm now paying people to paint for me, so I now know that for sure I'm going to use that pre-painted printed. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Pre-printed and painted armies.
Yeah. We actually got the goblins done to the point where I have to seal them and then do the metal work. So we're gonna move on to a dwarf.
Yeah. Even most of the GW stuff that I buy today, it's kind of like I'm not much into the hobby aspect of it anymore, and it's mostly just shinies that I want to hoard onto my shelves and supporting my local stores.
Okay, but serious question, this is not meant to be a joke. Is it shinies you hoard in the box or assembled in the box?
No, in a box, sealed. Sometimes I'll open it and go, ooh, this is pretty, and then put it on a shelf.
You know what, I'm not gonna hobby shame you. That's the thing you do, right? I'm not going to be like
hobby shame me all you want.
And then I go to my closet where I have a store's worth of product in the box.
Yep. I've got that in my living room, in the closet in my bedroom, and a room downstairs in the basement.
Okay, back up with chat here. I've been forging for a day. Oh, you make your own knives? That's kind of cool. I always wanted to do that. Zane. Oh, David, we're talking about printers, we're painting miniatures, the typical stuff. I'm doing an Inktober painting while I'm on stream. What's Inktober? Anybody know what Inktober is?
Ink an army in 1 month. It sounds like dipping to me. Sort of.
Oh man, I miss dipping. I feel when I get to my Norska army, which right after my Bretonians, because of oil washes, it's gonna take it'll take longer to assemble the army than to paint it. How bad is that? Humanity needs a fast forward button so we can go right to the end. I'm okay. I wouldn't go right to the end, the chat man, but I'd hit the fast forward button.